All right. Well, good morning, everyone. It is another fantastic Monday morning here at Health Plan Markets. Thank you guys very much for being on the call live. Very much appreciate you guys being here. As you know, we are here to serve those that serve others. And we are on that mission. And we also thank you for doing everything that you can to go out there and be the best agent as possible. So we've got quite a bit to go through this morning. So I'm going to jump right in. I'm going to do something that I don't do often, that I should do more often, is really kind of helping you guys through the process of being more productive, right? So I think this is a mission that everybody wants to continue to do in their careers. In anything that you do, you want to be more productive because productivity equals better outcomes, more efficiencies, and all the above. So with that, I want to share with you guys, and I've shared this with my team, what I call what is called the Pomodoro technique. And essentially what this is it breaks up times where you focus on your work. And what you do is you pick a task and you identify how long is this task really going to take me. Maybe it'll take you an hour. So what you would do is you would take the Pomodoro technique and you would break it up into 25 minutes of work, and then you would take a 5-minute break. And you would do that in this instance. Let's say you needed to, about an hour of work. You would do 2 of these back to back. So you would work 25 minutes, like totally focused. Your phone is off. Maybe you've got some music that you're listening to. You've got your tasks at hand. You know exactly what you need to be doing. No distractions whatsoever. And you work hard and focused for 25 minutes. And then after the 25 minutes is over, you get a 5-minute break. You can't work. You got to stand up, do whatever you got to do, walk away from work entirely. And then after that 5-minute break is over, you come back and you do another 25 minutes. And then hopefully you're done with that task, or you can take another 5-minute break. So I've been using this in my focus time. So I set aside about 90 minutes every day for focused work, things that I need to do, tasks that I need to get accomplished. And this technique has really helped me. I find myself being way more focused on a task. And essentially, I can get a lot more done in that 25 minutes than I do, just saying, okay, here's 90 minutes, let's work. And then I get a phone call or an email or a ping or a zing. And you're just like, what the heck happened to my time? So if you're very intentional about, that 25 minutes and making sure that you're fully committed to that 25 minutes of work, in those sequences, it really works. So whether you have to make, client calls or book appointments or follow up on your emails, or you look for events or talk to your physicians, or whatever that looks like, in your daily activity, in your to-dos, setting aside like that 25 minutes of work, then taking a 5-minute break and then coming back to it has really kind of helped me stay focused on that stuff. So wanted to share that with you guys as kind of a productivity hack. I've shared this with our team as well. And I don't know if anyone's implementing it yet, but very excited to share that with you guys just because, it's a fun little hack that I think might change the way you do your work. So there it is. All right, jumping over to HQ. Here we go. As you know, we've got some updates here on the main page. Going over to learning, I want to jump into the training calendar here. And this week ahead, we've got quite a bit of training. So I'm going to go over here and select the week. And just today, we've got a couple trainings. UHC is doing a dental training, dental vision and hearing, and how that works for Medicare Advantage at noon. And then we've got Devoted doing Grow with Give Back. So if you're looking to grow your business with give back plans, that's at 3 o'clock today. Jumping over to tomorrow, we've got Cigna with open hours at 9:30. They're also doing a lock-in training at 11. You've got UHC closing the sale. Everyone's got to really make sure that they're honing their craft as a salesperson. And closing the sale is definitely a technique you need to know. And that's at 11 o'clock tomorrow. You've got 60 Minutes to Success with AARP, Medicare Sup training at 1. And then Health Sherpa, they're going to talk about the proposed ACA changes, which we've talked about in the past here, I think a couple calls ago. you can always go back on our YouTube channel and check that out. But they'll be diving that deep tomorrow at 1 o'clock for those ACA changes. Wednesday, we've got Spark, and they're doing a training serving immigrant communities, which is very impactful. We've seen some success with agents that focus on those communities where folks are coming in, and dedicated communities, whether you're from the Philippines or from the islands or Russians. There's all sorts of great communities out there, and tapping those communities doesn't necessarily mean you have to be Russian to serve the Russian community. It just, when you really go in deep with those cultures and you start to understand the mechanics behind them, then you really can make an impact there. So that's at 9 o'clock on Wednesday. You've got our very own Al Clancy. He's doing his virtual coffee and chat at 9:30. Aetna's doing a portfolio selling training at 11. We've got our contracting team available at 11 as well. So if you have any questions on that, United Healthcare Golden Rule with Umer, he's doing that at noon on Wednesday. Agent tools and resources for AARP subplan, that's also on Wednesday at 2 o'clock. I do want to pause here for just a moment and thank everyone that did make an appearance at our advisor meeting last week. You all took a training, or sorry, a survey about our trainings. The number one training that came up was marketing training. So we're going to be working hard on delivering that for you. But the other things that were popping up were supplement training. So there's tons of supplement trainings that we've added into this calendar that I hope you guys are taking advantage of. Thursday the 1st, can you believe it? It's already May 1st. We've got HQ intro, how to learn this portal that I'm showing you right now. That's at 3 o'clock on Thursday. We've got our shop training at 9:30. I'm also going to share with you that lives in HPM University now. And then we've got devoted selling through Roy with SEPs. That's at 11:30 on Friday, May 2nd. All right, that is the training for the week. Remember, you got to keep one foot in the classroom and the other one in the field at all times. Jumping over to HPM University, we do have some trainings built out for Spark, if you're using the Spark platform, Health Sherpa, the Affordable Care Act, and then HPM Shop. We've got that built out. I have seen some of you join these courses. I would love to hear your feedback on them. How can we make them more engaging, more fun? We've got some more stuff coming up in Q3 that should be launched for training purposes. And we definitely are going to be building out that marketing training because that seems to be something that you guys are wanting. Just talking about this week in general, HPM, we're having quite a few events and things happening this week that we want to make you aware of. The team is working hard, and this Thursday we will be out of office, closed, essentially. We'll keep our eyes on the emails and phone calls and things like that, but the office will be closed on Thursday for our State of the Union meeting that we do quarterly. And I'll have the entire team joining us to kind of recap what happened over the last quarter and getting them up to speed so we can best serve you. On Friday of this week, we will have our gala for those agents that reached our top 50 category. We thank you, and we're going to do a gala there on Friday evening. And so we'll be short, well, not really short staffed, but short on time for a lot of things. We'll be mostly out of office there on Friday as well. And then Saturday, we're taking our AEP contest winners to Cartagena, Colombia, and we will be gone for 5 days, returning on Thursday the following week. So the office will be open next week. No changes there. I'll be working from Colombia, and some of the team members will be doing that as well. And so, it's going to be a busy week or so. So I really appreciate everyone's patience. But with that, just keep in mind, same phone number, 844-696-3975. Call us there, or you can email us at support@askhpm.com, and we'll take care of you the best way we know how. Okay. I do want to announce that we have a new team member on our team. Some of you might know him already or have dealt with him in the past. we're happy to announce that we have hired Mr. Michael Pope, who is going to be our VP of Operations. And he has an incredible skill set to help us with a lot of the systems that we need to get up and running and, our efficiencies as an FMO. And you may know him. He has a company called Direct Mailer, which we have a working partnership with. And but he's going to be coming in and helping us with integrations and systems and processes and just streamlining everything. I'm really, really excited to welcome him to the team. Today will be his first day. So if you bump into him or talk to him, please be nice. So for the first 90 days, we're going to get him integrated into operations. Jonathan, who previously held that seat, is going to be working with me as an integrator on the bigger picture items and tools that we want to be building here at HPM. So free him up to help me and to really implement a lot of the things that need to be implemented here at HPM. So excited. Please welcome Mike when you get the chance to talk to him. He'll be here this week, and then he'll be joining us for some of you will see him there at the gala on Friday as well. So good things coming on that. Want to shift over to an email that was sent by Oscar. And Oscar's got a new agent bonus tracker. And this email was sent out Thursday of about 2 weeks ago, actually. This one kind of slipped through the cracks, so I wanted to make sure that we talked about it. So if you're selling Oscar, starting February 1st, eligible initiations from 3/1, 4/1, and 5/1 effective dates will contribute to a potential one-time bonus on top of your commissions. With no bonus cap, you can earn as much as $100 per new eligible member in select states once you hit the required amount of enrollments. They've released the agent bonus tracker to help you view your projected payout per state, view the bonus eligible states where you are not yet appointed, review members who are in unpaid binder, delinquent, or grace period status and must be paid to qualify for a payout, make payment on behalf of these members. So you can log into your Oscar portal to navigate this new tool. If you don't know how to get there, you can shoot an email over to brokers@hioscar.com and they'll help you out. So coming out with bonuses, wanted to make you guys aware of that because money, money, money. There you go. So if you got some folks that Oscar would be a good fit for, you're going to get comped pretty well on that specifically. Moving over to some other news here. Freedom has been sending us quite a few boo-boos, if you will, regarding the CSNP verification forms. And I want to clear this up because we're getting quite a few of them. And you should be getting a notice from both Freedom and us and letting you know that your member needs to complete that verification form and in order to remain on that CSNP plan. They have 60 days to get it done. That form is typically sent to their provider for the doctor to sign it and indicate, yes, this person really does have a chronic condition, and they sign it, and then it has to be returned to Freedom. So what is happening? The client gets a form, the doctor gets notified. If there's some kind of break in communication, the doctors are too busy. Sometimes we're hearing that the doctors don't even want to sign that form. So what do you do in those situations? I think it's really important that number one, that you're communicating with your member, at the point of sale and letting them know, hey, this verification form is very important. You have to get this signed. And it will come in the mail. It will go to your doctor directly as well. Please make sure you follow up with your doctor and get that form signed. Otherwise, you will be disenrolled from this plan after 60 days if they don't have that form signed. Okay, now it does create an SEP and you can do whatever you want with that. That's not really the intention here. You're putting them on that plan because it best suits them. So they get really upset when they get kicked off the plan because their doctor didn't sign this form. So what happens if the doctor is just not signing the form? Well, we're hearing that right now, that many of the providers are just not playing nice with Freedom, and it's costing you guys headaches. And so it's really important to build a great relationship with the provider groups and the providers. And I think it's really important that if you're not building these relationships, it can get a little sticky. So things like this, where, hey, you really need to get this form completed. This is going to go across any carrier, really, when you have an issue like this. And having that relationship where you can call up the provider's office or maybe one of the reps that you have a relationship with to help you clear this out, or maybe they can take the next steps, or maybe they can push that doctor in the right way. So wanted to make that a point because it seems to be quite pandemic at this point, where we're seeing quite a few people that are just not getting these forms completed, and it's costing you guys quite a bit of headache. So we want to remove that. So with that, we do have a special guest on the line, Miss Patricia Gomez of Valora Medical Group, and she is going to give you the insight on what's going on, and maybe can give a little bit of insight on these types of situations as well. We also have Catherine from Devoted here, and I'm going to put both of them on here and let them take the mic for a minute and kind of explain the partnership. And yeah, Catherine, welcome back. Thanks again.
Guys, thanks for having me back. Happy to be with y'all this morning. Hope everyone had a good weekend. So I just wanted to introduce you guys to maybe a new partner that you guys haven't had a chance to work with, or maybe some of you have.
We might have lost her. Let's see. Sorry about that.
Okay, somebody's working on the back end to try to get her on, I think.
Okay.
No, so I was just saying, I was just wanting to introduce you guys to a new partner. As you guys know, we have lots of great partners here at Devoted, lots of provider partners in the area, and our network just keeps getting richer and keeps growing. And we're really happy that last year we were the first plan to partner up with Valora when they opened up. I want to say they opened up their first clinic just like last July or August, but I'll let Patricia kind of talk a little bit more in regards to that. And they've just continued to grow pretty quickly, and for good reason. A lot of their doctors are very well known, and they've been providing excellent service. So I don't know if it seems.
Yeah, I'm going to try to reconnect her here. We're looks like there may be a connection issue, but I'm going to have Nick kind of help us out with that too. But in the meantime, as far as like that relationship with Devoted and Valora, can you talk more about, the successes that you guys have had, and then what initiatives are you doing right now that maybe these guys can plug in and take advantage of?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. She just texted me. I guess she's just trying to get her video on. But so one of the unique things about Valora is that they have, I believe, 6 to 8 clinics. They do have a full marketing team as well. So in a time where a lot of other clinics might maybe be cutting back a little bit on their field marketers, they have a pretty good group of individuals that are out there in the community doing events every single day. So if grassroots events fit your style, then they're able to partner up with you on that. The providers are very open to going out into the communities as well. They actually fit time into their schedules to market themselves as well. So if you guys want to schedule like a doc talk or like a Q&A with a doctor at a community, they're completely open to it. I find that to be something really rare in today's market. So they're more than willing to do so. They do provide transportation to their facilities as well. And they do have some programs within Valora to help facilitate the transition from the member to the start their first appointment. So for the broker to help facilitate that transition. So I'll let Patricia talk a little bit more about their broker program that they have going on. They definitely are really great at protecting your book of business too. I know that's key to a lot of y'all. So that way you guys can rest assured that, when you put a client at one of the Valora offices, the client will be well taken care of and it's not going to be touched by another broker. So they do protect your book of business really strongly. What else can I say? They don't, there's a few plans, there are just a couple handful of plans that they don't actually take, but obviously, we all, just like Nick always says, we only write devoted here, right? But they do take a number of other plans as well. So that way you guys can keep into consideration kind of all walks of life that they take in.
Yeah, I'll say, pointing out the fact that they're willing to bring a physician out into the market and, participate in some of these events. Let me tell you, when I was a rep and anytime I could get a doctor, which by the way was next to impossible, they were always super busy. They didn't see the value in standing in front of 40, 50 seniors and, telling them about themselves. They would always kick and scream when I dragged them by their collar to these events. And but every time they leave and they're like, wow, I'm really glad I did that. And I'm like, yeah, you probably walked away with like 5, 6 new patients. And, having a group that essentially is focused on that and bringing that value is important, because it is really difficult to get a doctor out into the field. They are super busy people. And then in addition to that, some of them just don't want to do it. So, yeah, doesn't look like we're having luck with her joining. So maybe I can get Nick to patch her in.
Yeah.
So,
let me see what she says now. Sorry about this, you guys.
Good.
I will say you guys have been doing really, really well. I've been seeing a lot of sales coming from HPM. So thank you guys so much. We definitely appreciate the support.
Is there anything that you want to share with the crew? I know, like right now, I don't know if you guys are done with your bidding and putting in for 2026. Anything you can share about the momentum that you guys have at Devoted to kind of get these guys moving?
Yeah, I can tell you a little bit. So when it comes to 2026, we are still in the midst of bids, and it's looking to be another pretty exciting year, which is phenomenal. As you guys may know, the plans did get a rate increase from Medicare. So really happy that they were able to do that. We were already in a really strong position because of our star ratings. So last year they did a lot of cuts, but fortunately we still got 4.5 stars. So that means we get top Medicare funding. But now that they have increased the rates, it just means that, now we can actually keep up with the rising costs of healthcare, which has just kind of been an issue for a lot of the plans. So now that they increase the rates, you can probably see a little bit more disruption in the market when it comes to plan benefit designs. And for Devoted, we're going to continue to grow. This is going to be another growth year. We're going to expand into 9 new states. So if you didn't think we were national before, we're really going to be national now. So if you do write pretty heavily in a lot of other states, you will see mainly like around the Midwest. I'm not sure if you guys write in Louisiana, but we'll fill in Louisiana as far as the South, but going a little bit more up into the Midwest territories. And then as far as product lines, a lot of the feedback that we've gotten is regarding dental. People always bring up, having a chronic as well. So those are things that we're taking into consideration, potentially for next year, improving dental a little bit, because across the board, even as I was at Medicare Con, I heard from other people in other states that, dental wasn't necessarily the best received this year, just kind of now from a national perspective. So looking to see what we can do to better improve the whole dental experience for the member. So those are, just a few little tidbits that I can kind of give you guys.
Yeah, and talking about the raise and the money that's coming in from CMS, I ran out of time today. I was going to talk about this, but the the advance notice that CMS gave was like a 2.23% increase in revenue. They announced officially it's going to be 5.06% increase, which equates to about $25 billion in payments expected to go to the Medicare Advantage program for next year. That's with a B, 25 billion, which is just unbelievable. So in my opinion, that means there's going to be more marketing opportunities. The plans are going to get richer, and it's going to be another competitive market.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's and you're right to think about that. Well, it'll be interesting to see exactly what kind of new benefits or how the benefits get richer in certain areas. So we'll just have to kind of wait and see. We are planning to roll out a devoted insider in July. We do open up our certification in June, so stay tuned for those dates. That will be live pretty soon. We'll provide that to you guys so you guys can put it on the calendar, but you'll receive a devoted insider sometime in July, and then benefits will be released late August, like full-fledged inside sneak peek to benefits.
Fantastic. Well, we got Nick showing his face here, so that means business.
That's very special. No, so I talked to Patricia, and she is unable. She says she's in the waiting room. I don't know if you see it there. So
Yeah,
I didn't know we had a waiting room. Interesting. I'm not sure how to let her in.
I don't know if there's maybe we can try this a different time. I'm sorry, I don't want to hold you guys.
Yeah. No. This is, we could reschedule for Patricia. Yeah. But yeah, as far as the voted, okay. So we know that the increase is coming, the money's coming, dental's a problem. Are you guys looking at improving the dental? Is that a conversation you guys are having, or are you guys kind of like, yeah, we're tired of this, let's get out of it?
We're looking to see how the dental experience, we can improve the dental experience. Dental is definitely something that people want. So I don't foresee that going away anytime soon. We're just looking to see how can we better improve the member experience, just so that you guys know. I mean, for the most part now, when it comes to Florida, DSNP is still 100% based on a network. So the member still goes to an in-network dental provider, and then we pay the dentist directly, right? But for all of the product lines and everywhere else in the country, it is on a reimbursement model, and we track all of our numbers really closely, and we've been able to pay people out within 5 days of receiving their claim. So the reimbursement process is really quickly. It's just getting over the hurdle with the member that calls in and says, I don't even have the money to pay it out in the beginning, right? So how can we overcome that and try to provide them a much better experience on to that front? So that's what we're looking to see, to look and dive deeper into and see what we can improve on that front. So maybe considering different, like going back to vendors, or maybe something else as far as like billing the dentist, like maybe billing us to where we direct pay. I mean, there's a few different options out there, but definitely trying to see how we can better improve dental, because it is a kind of a sore subject, and apparently a lot of seniors really still want it. I was actually shocked to find that out. I thought, maybe the healthy foods card was probably the #1 requested benefit, but because nobody really has an issue with the healthy food card right now, that's probably why dental is probably top of mind. And if you write in other states, you might realize that our Give Back and Grow program is part of an ongoing effort to kind of educate brokers around the nation about how the give backs can actually help a lot of members who are eligible to receive it, because there's a lot of hesitation, like, oh, if I get the give back, then I compromise on other type of benefits, and you're not really compromising much. Copays are still really rich. So if you guys join any of those trainings, we'll kind of do like a deep dive analysis on how you can have that breakdown and conversation with members, especially those that actually switch over from supplements. Supplements are like probably the funnest appointments I've gone on, just because you can really get into the person's like financials and break everything down to them and see how you can help save their pocket in the long run. So if you guys join one of those trainings, I think you'll find a lot of benefit from it, because there's still a lot of people out there that really don't have full confidence in give backs, and we have a really great rich give back.
So there's a question in here. Jonathan's asking, with the increase, are more PPO options going to be become available in the market. Do you see that happening, or is that going to be, from your perspective at Devoted, are you guys considering adding more PPOs?
I see what Patricia's problem is with. 1 second. Adding. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. You said the.
Yeah. So with the increases as far as the money coming from CMS, Jonathan's asking, are there more PPO options going to be available in the market? Do you see that happening? What's Devoted stance on that?
So when we go in to do product lines, we want to make sure that we're winning in a lot of those product lines. And with PPOs, it's a little bit more difficult to help improve the member experience and help their outcomes, because when you're on a PPO, you don't necessarily have to go to the doctor. You don't have to go get all of those HEDIS measures marked off. So like your annual wellness visit, flu shots and things like that. You don't have somebody managing your care like you do on an HMO plan. So PPOs will do them. We're in areas that makes sense. But right now we really want to focus, at least for Florida, mainly on our HMO products where we do the best in. It helps benefit our providers the most, because on a PPO product, you guys may not be aware, but also the provider doesn't win as much on a PPO product. So we help benefit a lot of our providers with our HMO products. And for those that have this hesitation to the HMOs on Devoted, that's when you can kind of reassure them of the Devoted process, because we're very high tech and advanced. We don't delay their healthcare. That's usually number one point that for people not wanting to be on an HMO. They want to be on a PPO because they don't want to delay their access to care. They don't want to be limited on their providers. Fortunately, and with Devoted, we have a super rich network, and we don't delay that process. Instant referrals, authorizations in 3 days or less, answered. And if they're SAT, it's same day response. So our processes are really quick. So to answer your question, I mean, it's we're focusing a little bit more on our HMO products for the majority of Florida. But when it comes to some areas, our PPO will continue, as you guys might write in Tampa and the East Coast, we still do have a give back PPO, but it makes sense in those markets.
Yeah, it's a sticky wicket, right? Like you have to cater to your providers, and then you also have to look at the market and what the market is asking for. And specifically, Mary and Georgia were talking about in 2024, the PPO in Volusia County was really hot, and they want it back because they made a lot of sales with it. It was really a hot product, and and it's hard because you're like, okay, great, yeah, we came out with a really great product, but at the same time, we're not making money from it, so it's kind of defeating the purpose. Or the providers are kind of upset because they can't control the members, and the members are going and doing whatever they want. So yeah, it's a tough balance to strike on, like, how do you roll out a quality PPO and make money from it? Because that's, the number one segment of growth in the MA space is PPOs. We know that, and DSNP, of course. But yeah, so I think I'm glad that you guys are addressing it, saying, hey, we might not come out with the most sexiest PPO, but the ones that we do have are going to stay strong in those markets that it makes sense in. So,
I'll share a personal story too.
Yeah.
Because this recently happened to me. I wasn't feeling well, and I hate the hospitals. You guys, I don't like hospitals whatsoever. Haven't since I was little. But then again, who really loves the hospital, right? But I wasn't feeling well. Went to an urgent care, and they sent me to the hospital because they're like, you need imaging done, because we can't evaluate you, and we can't treat you based on your symptoms. You actually need to have imaging done. So I went to the hospital, had imaging done. They did an MRI, they did a CT, and what the doctor had come in to tell me was that, we can either take you into emergency surgery now, or actually we can give you the option, if you want to follow up with a specialist, with this specialist, then you can do that. Just control X, Y, and Z factors and stay on a liquid diet for a couple of days until you can get in, and we'll make sure that you have access to that doctor immediately. I said, yeah, if I can avoid emergency surgery, I'm going to do that. So I did that. Went to go see I didn't go to the provider that they suggested. I went to go see my provider. And I started with my PCP because I've been going to them for years. I trust them, and they're with a huge group that I completely trust too, that I wanted to seek care from. So I went there, and then she said, they wanted to do what? She read through the MRI report. She says, you have nothing wrong with you. You have this that can pass through if you do this. So she told me do this and that, and you haven't experienced any other pains, have you? And I said, no, I actually haven't. She's like, okay. So your body's already going through the process. So I was about to have unnecessary surgery.
Wow. Yeah.
Have the reports. I could even show you guys, but I was about to have unnecessary surgery, just simply because I had no idea why. I have no idea why they were about to take me into unnecessary surgery. And I was thinking to myself, how many people does this happen to daily basis?
Oh,
but
yeah.
Had I not gone to my primary care doctor and followed up with somebody who manages my care, who takes their time with me, then I could have lost the body part.
Yeah, that's really scary, and I've heard and seen and witnessed horror stories of clients that has happened because they didn't know any better, right? And some of them, they barely finished high school and had a tough life, and they're like, okay, this is a doctor, I'm just gonna go do what they tell me to do, and they don't know, and I think the system does prey on a lot of those people. But I'm glad to hear that, you had a good head on your shoulders about, your options. And I'm the same way, like avoid surgery at all costs, whatever you can do, that's last resort, 100%. So, take every avenue, get a second opinion. And actually that's kind of a sales technique too. I used to use, I used to say, how long have you been going to your doctor? Oh yeah, I've been going to him for 30 years. I'm like, yeah, I bet you that when you go in, he says, hi, how are the kids? They order the same test and you go home. And so I always would say, hey, if you're considering this plan, you're going to have to change your doc, but it might be a good idea to do so, get a second opinion. And I would say at least more than half the time when that person did make a change, they found something because their old doctor wasn't really doing, the necessary things because they think they know everything. So that second opinion or even a third opinion can really make the difference in somebody's healthcare. So just a technique, don't use it for evil, use it for good, right? Like, if they're happy with their doctor, good. But like, if they're complaining about things and, they've been going to their doctor for 30 years, you're like, yeah, you probably might want to get a second opinion on a couple things. So, use it for good and not evil, I would say. And you can get an enrollment from that too and build trust with your client.
Correct. And that's just the important relationship that, clients really do have to have with their primary care physician, whether you're on a PPO or an HMO. I have a PPO product. I could have easily just gone straight to the specialist, but I said to myself, I'm going to start with my PCP because I don't know if I necessarily need to go to a general surgeon or do I need a gastro surgeon, right? And I'm not a doctor, so I was going to start with my PCP. And many clients, they want to have that PPO because they're like, listen, if I know what's wrong with me, I'm just going to go to this specialist. But you haven't necessarily gone to medical school. You may not need that specialty, and you might be just spinning your wheels for no reason. So it's good. That's why it's great to have that good relationship with a primary care doctor, whether it's existing or you tell your client to take a chance on a new primary care provider who's going to see you as like just a clean slate, clean canvas, run all the initial diagnostics and just start from scratch with. That relationship is really important regardless of the product line that you're with. Even if you're on a supplement, right? It's important to sit with a really good primary care doctor.
Yeah. And you're right. A lot of these PCPs these days can, they could do a lot in their offices. I mean, we didn't get a chance to hear from Valora today, but I know many of these guys are doing a lot of these tests and services where you don't have to go see a specialist. And I know some of them, they'll bring the specialist in like once or twice a week. So you don't really have to go anywhere. You can kind of do 1, 2, and you're out, which is pretty amazing. So, I think the efficiency of the system can be there, especially if you're using your primary care doctor. So yeah, thank you for that. Appreciate it.
No, absolutely. You guys, sorry, Valora couldn't join us, but if you guys ever have a moment to like at least check out their website and see where their clinics are at, we will be hosting a mixer with them soon. So you guys will get the invite with that. So if you guys want to come out and meet meet their team in person. They also bring out a lot of their providers. Dr. Benjamin Moreno, if you guys know him in Kissimmee, very popular doctor, is with them. And he comes out to the events like all the time. He's such a really cool, down-to-earth doctor.
Yeah, and this is a great time of year to go out to these mixers, meet doctors, because when AEP comes around again, you're not going to have time to do these things, and your members are going to ask you, "Hey, do you know a good doc?" And you can go back into your Rolodex here in your head and say, "Hey, I got to meet Dr. Moreno, and he was really cool, and he's right over here. He's 10 minutes away. Great guy. I think you'll like him." Boom, you've got an enrollment, and you've got a happy client that's going to see a doctor. So, building that trust on the other side for a broker, I think, is important too. So again, when we promote these events, guys, go. And I will say this: if you're gonna go RSVP, and if you RSVP, show up. Please stop RSVPing and not showing up. It is so rude. These guys put money, they buy food and drinks expecting you to show up, and then you just don't show up. It's chronic in this whole industry. So anyway, I'm just gonna say that. I know most of these guys on the call are really good about that, but yeah, don't RSVP, just RSVP. If you're gonna RSVP, show up, please. It's just the proper honor thing that you should do. Anyway, Catherine, thank you very much for your time again. I know we went over time, and we appreciate you and all you do at Devoted.
Anytime, you guys. It was a pleasure being here with y'all.
Rock and roll. All right, everyone, that's it for today. We will meet you back here, same time, same station, next Monday, and we'll take it from there. Next Monday, I will be out of the country, but I will do my best to do this call to keep us on target and on point. With that, I hope you have a fantastic and productive week. Have a great day. Thank you.